Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video I combined the tumbling tower blocks with the geometric beads, and this picture I got from Shein, and it's actually a wall sticker. It was a set of 3. If you watched my Shein haul you would have seen them. So what I'm going to do is stick it down to some foam board from Dollar Tree, and I'm just doing it bit by bit, and it was easier with the kitchen roll. To do it and make sure there's no air bubbles, and just take your time doing it. It looks like I'm doing it really fast because I've speeded it up 4 times the speed. I'm sure this was 16 by 22. I can't remember. There is a smaller size as well, and I am making a frame for this, so I'm making it to fit this picture, but you need to measure whatever you decide that whatever picture you want to make this kind of frame for. And then I'm just cutting it out with an X-Acto knife around the sticker, and then I'm going to use some Dollar Tree super glue wood glue. You can use any wood glue you like, and I already have a row of 7 tower blocks, and I just made a second row of them, and now I am making a row of 8 tower blocks. I already made one, so there's going to be 2 of those as well, and I'm just using a wet paper towel to take off any excess glue. Now I am making 6 sets of 6 tower blocks, and now I am making 2 sets of 7 tower blocks. I could have made them at the start, but the sets of 6 and the sets of 7 are going to be joined together to make the longer sides. So here I took the set of 7 tower blocks, and I measured these geometric beads beside it, and there was 22 along, I'm sure it was. And I am just gluing them with the holes facing each other. But for this it doesn't really matter so long as the holes are not facing at the top. And then I'm just making sure they're going to be straight and fit in between the tower blocks by squeezing them on the sides. So now I'm going to glue together a set of 6 tower blocks and a set of 7 tower blocks, and I'm going to do that for the 2 sides. I don't know if you can hear my dog walking around. And now I'm going to join together 2 sets of 6 tower blocks. Off camera I made the beads as long as the sides, and then I stained everything with some golden oak gel stain, and I already put it together, so I'm just going to glue it all together now. And yeah, just make sure it's all going to fit. It doesn't fit perfect because it's tower blocks and they're not all the same size, and neither are those beads. I forgot to say I got the beads on Amazon, and I will link them down below. And I do have 2 other videos where I made DIYs with just those beads, so I'll also link them down below. So I'm just going to keep gluing everything together. So the longer tower block pieces are going to be on the outside, and the shorter ones are going to be on the inside of the beads. I can't remember how many beads it was to go down. I think it was 34 or something like that. But it depends on what you want to make this frame for. If you want to make one this big, or for something smaller, you got to measure it out. But I actually did make this a little bit too big, which you will see when I glue it to the picture. I don't know, my brain is just not working the same while I'm pregnant. I hope she comes out soon so my brain will work normal again. Well, better than it is now. Oh yeah, I stained all the pieces before I glued them together just because it was going to be easier because I was using the gel stain. But if you're using a liquid stain, then you could glue it all together first and that would be fine. Also make sure all your pieces are properly dry before you start putting together like I did. So once I put it all together, I held it together with some painter's tape and then I left it to dry overnight. I did add on more off camera. Just needed to hold it all together until it dried. Also, you can use whatever color stain or paint you like. This is just the one that I wanted to use. I thought it would go nice with the picture. So I just took the, what's it called? The painter's tape off and I turned it over and now I'm just using some Scotch glue, but you can use any glue you like to glue it to the sticker, but the sticker is shorter at the top and the bottom than the where I put the glue at the top and the bottom, but it's held on fine by the sides. And then I just put hot glue in the corners because I wanted a fast hold. But as you can see at the top and the bottom, I made my frame a little bit too big. But anyway, this is how it turned out. I did stick a hanger on the back with some hot glue and a popsicle stick. But I do love how this frame turned out. I just wish that I'd measured it better. So just double check when you're making it that it's going to fit properly. I'm going to use some Dollar Tree Super Glue Wood Glue. I'm going to glue together these tower blocks and it's going to be 7 blocks across and 3 blocks high. And you can make this DIY whatever size you want as well. I just wanted to make a wee one just to show you, give you guys an idea. And I just make sure I wipe off any excess glue and then I stained it with the golden oak gel stain. And now I just measured the beads out, and you need to measure them because they're not all the same size and you want to make sure it's going to fit around your frame good. I'm not your frame, your tower blocks. So I just glued them all together and I have the holes all facing the one way, up and down, like the holes glued together. That makes sense. So you don't see them. And now I'm just doing the other side. I don't know if you can see, I only have a little tiny screen here when I'm doing the voiceover, but I'm gluing it hole to hole. And then just making sure it's gonna dry in a straight line. And now I'm gonna do the top and the bottom. And if the beads don't fit properly, just swap them out for another bead. So I'm not going to stain these beads, I'm just leaving them like this, but you could stain them all the same color as the tower blocks, or you could paint them, it's up to you. Later in the video I do make the beads and the tower blocks different colors just to show you what it would look like. Oh, and I just use a wee paintbrush to get rid of the glue in between the beads. And now I'm just going to glue all the pieces together and then move on to the next step. So I have Instagram, Pinterest, and what's the other one? TikTok. And they're all the name Bonnie Blings as well. So it would be nice if you guys could follow me on those other platforms, because I would like to build up my followers there. So here I'm just measuring the tower blocks around the outside, and then I'm going to glue them together. So I just need 3 on the bottom and then 4 on the sides. And then once I glued them together and waited on them to dry, I stained them with the golden oak gel stain as well. So I'm just gluing all the pieces together now that the stain is dried. I'm just using the wood glue again. And you can of course make the whole thing, well, all the tower block parts and then stain them all at the same time. But I make most of these DIYs up as I'm going along. So I don't know how many tower blocks I'm going to need or what I'm going to do with them. If I'm going to paint them or stain them. Sometimes I do, sometimes I know exactly what I'm going to do with them. So now I have some plaster Waverly chalk paint. And I have this wee moon from Amazon, it's like 2 inches. I will link it down below as well. It was a pack of, I don't know, 30 or something. So I'm just going to hot glue it to the top of this. And then I have these flowers from Dollar Tree. So I am just choosing which ones I want to glue to it. And you could use any flowers for this. You could put some scrapbook paper, or you could put some words inside this. It's up to you. This is just what I wanted to do with it. But whatever you want to do is up to you because you're making it. So I'm just arranging them and then I'm going to hot glue them down. And I got these flowers a couple years ago actually. So it's about time I used them. Could even stencil something in there or use stickers from Dollar Tree or put a mirror in there. It's up to you. Anyway, I took ages arranging them and now I'm just gluing them down. I keep getting so out of breath doing these voiceovers and just sitting down. Let me know in the comments down below if you would make this one and what you would put inside it. Would you do the same as me or something else? Maybe you can give me some ideas for some other stuff or other DIYs. So I'll just finish this off camera because it's taken a wee while. And then I just strung up some beads and I'm just attaching them to the back of the frame with some hot glue and a popsicle stick. And this is how it turned out, and I think it turned out really pretty. I'm using the Dollar Tree Super Glue Wood Glue again. I'll always use it because it comes in a wee bottle and it's just easy to use. So I have 2 tower blocks and 3 beads and I'm just joining them together, but I'm doing the holes facing the tower blocks. So the ends you can't see the holes, or the top you can't see the holes. And I'm going to do this twice. I just clean up any glue. And now I am gluing together 3 tower blocks. And I do this 4 times. So someone asked me to make a mobile phone holder out of tower blocks, and I know people have made them so many times, but they haven't made them with the beads, geometric beads, so I decided to make one. And it was a bit harder than I thought it was going to be. So this time the beads are going to the side again, or so long as the top and the bottom ones, you cannot see the hole because you're going to see the top. I'm just going to glue them all together now and then glue the sides on. I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. I cannot find tower blocks in my shops either. And I have tons of Dollar Trees around me. I cannot find them. I have to order them online. And I do order them by the case since I use so many, but you can order them like a couple of boxes at a time if you know how many boxes that you need. So I don't need to know that you can't find tower blocks. I can't find them either. But they are available on the Dollar Tree website. You can get as many as you want there. I wish Dollar Tree sold everything on their website because I would just buy everything that I wanted. I can't find the Dollar Tree Plus anywhere, so if anybody in South Florida knows where there's a Dollar Tree Plus, please can you tell me? Now I have 9 tower blocks, so I'm going to glue 4 together on one side, then 1 tower block in the middle, and then 4 on the other side. I'm going to clean it up. And then I'm going to glue these parts I made earlier to the front. And then I'm going to leave it to dry. So that's what it looks like. So I'm just going to glue it to the back. And then I'm just using my Mod Podge bottle to hold it up till it dries. Okay, so I'm using these 4 half beads, but I do end up taking them off because this wasn't tall enough when I tried it with my phone, because the charger is supposed to go through that hole at the front and it wasn't tall enough. So here I stuck on a piece of popsicle stick just to strengthen it a bit. I ended up putting the other one on too off camera. So I took them off and then I put these blocks on instead. These are just the wee square cubes from Dollar Tree, and that made it tall enough. So then I decided to put an extra tower block at the back to make it a bit stronger. And then I added another tower block behind the front pieces so that when the charger is in, it can still sit. And this is what it looks like. And this was harder to make than I thought it was going to be because I had to do all those extra bits from what I had in my head. Anyway, I decided to paint it with some Spanish moss chalk paint. You can stain it, paint it, whatever you want. And then I distressed it with some sandpaper from Dollar Tree. I just wanted to see what another colour looked like on these beads. And I wished I had made the beads green and stained the wood. So that's what I do in the next DIY, so I can show you guys what that looks like. But that's how it turned out anyway. I'm using the Dollar Tree Super Glue Wood Glue again. I'm gluing 2 tower blocks together and I made 10 of these. And now I'm making 4 of these and it is 11 tower blocks. This is another DIY. You can make whatever size that you would like. This is just what I decided to go for. So I have my 2 tower blocks, well, 2 sets of the 2 tower blocks, and then I'm just measuring the beads. So you need 6 beads, but just make sure they're going to be the same length as the tower blocks. And then just glue them together hole to hole and make sure you take off any excess glue. And then I just squeeze them together like that so that make sure they were going to be straight and fit in between the tower blocks. And here I have the longer length and I am just placing the beads, making sure that they are all going to fit. So the top and bottom ones, you have to have the holes facing the tower blocks, so you don't see the hole at the top or the bottom. But the other ones, you can change them around to either be hole to hole or to the tower blocks, just whatever's gonna fit. And then just glue them all together. Just don't glue them to the tower blocks just yet, unless you want to make it all the one color. But I'm going to paint the beads and then stain the tower blocks. It's all wood. So after I did a few, I squeezed it with the tower blocks just to make sure that they were all going to be in line, and then I carried on, and then I did that again. So I did that 3 times. I think I did it 3 times. Just to make sure they were all going to be in a straight line. And I just cleaned up any glue. So the beads I'm going to paint with the Spanish moss paint. And I'm going to stain the tower blocks with the golden oak gel stain. And then I'm going to distress all the beads with some sandpaper. And this was sandpaper from Dollar Tree, and I used so many sheets doing it because it just kept breaking apart. So maybe use better sandpaper than the Dollar Tree one. So now I'm just going to glue all my pieces together. And this is what it should look like. I'll do, I'm showing you them all. Anyway, you end up with 5 of these. But I think this colour stain goes really nice with the Spanish moss colour. I love the Spanish moss colour. Somebody just commented that golden oak is from the 70s, but I wasn't around then, so. But I think it's a nice colour. And I usually use the early American stain, and I wanted to switch it up and not just use that one all the time. So I need to see what these beads look like with the Jacobean stain, because I love that one too. But I don't know, what's your favourite stains? I like those 3. I used to love the antique wax, but I don't really like that one anymore. The early American stain looks similar to the antique wax. Anyway, I'm just gluing together the last pieces. Oh, that's Renisha. She wanted to say hi. She was making something for her auntie beside me. So once they're dry, I turn all the pieces over, and then I glued these. I just did every second tower block for these, for the steps, because it's a ladder. I'm just going to glue it all together. My friend asked me why I was making a ladder. I said because people just love them here. They love ladder DIYs. So I am just gluing some popsicle sticks to the back just to reinforce it, as you're not going to see that anyway. Wow, these are craft sticks. I'll just do one for each of the steps, and they just fit right across. I didn't have to cut them down or anything, which was good. I just glue the last one on, and then I turn it over and make sure I wipe off any of the excess glue. Make sure it's all stuck together. So I wasn't sure how to style it or if I had anything to style it, so that part is up to you guys. But anyway, I like how it turned out, and thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!